Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. This is Do the Dutch with a little bit of PvP. I decided to show this in particular because I tried it out, PvP in Wildstar, and I have to say, it is very different than what I'm used to. And I'm actually kind of happy with that. The PvP in Wildstar, it has its basics. It's got arenas, it's got battlegrounds, and then something more specific called war plots. I might do that later on if I get to that part. But for now, what you're seeing here is the first battleground you have to your disposal as, well, low level. Which is I think it's called the Walatiki Temple, which is a simple point well, gathering 5 things, basically as form of, well, it's not domination. I don't know how I best can describe it, but it's a fun mode to play. Sort of like multiple capture the flag thing. So, combat in Wildstar, of course, changes in its PvP front, mostly, of course, because of its telegraph system, because of its freeform combat, which I actually think is exactly the reason why I can enjoy it and probably be a little bit better at it than traditional MMO PvP because of that, because you need to aim. As they have said before, and I have to agree, it requires skill. This is not tab targeting. You don't just press tab and start doing your rotation. It's a lot about movement, which in this case, of course, the casters have a great advantage over, considering that a lot of them. But don't think, of course, that casters are overpowered, because although they are, of course, mobile, while they can still do their abilities, they are still vulnerable. Once they've dispensed their escapes and such, they're weak. So as you can see, I went completely the wrong way. You need to understand, this is my first time. I'm not familiar with the layout of the map. So then I discovered, hey, maybe there's something going on this bridge. And I see that Dominion bastard standing over there. I hit him, and then I discover, oh, the fun's happening downstairs. So let's just drop in there. Who cares? Stairs are for losers anyway, so just drop in. As you can see, it is very hectic, but actually that makes it kind of fun. As you can see, the telegraph system gives you an idea of what you need to do. I started exchanging with this Esper. We had this huge fight. There I go with a little bit of my escape. This is exactly the reason what I think is great about this game. Its telegraph system creates a very, very good system in which combat makes much more, well, it doesn't necessarily make much more sense, but it makes it more intense. You need to keep on your toes. You can't just expect the healer to do everything for you. His heals aren't good, because he can't just heal you while he's not looking at you. He needs to look at you. He needs to aim. Healers are going to have a fun time with it. Melees are going to have a fun time with it. Everyone is going to have a fun time. Healing in this game in particular is something I'm actually looking forward to doing, because as they've said themselves, it's not some stupid UI minigame. It is all about that aiming. It's about targeting. It's about skill, as it is. It basically comes down to that almost all of your abilities, well, basically, yeah, almost all of your abilities are like MOBA styled skill shots. So you need to aim, you need to look, aim, and then fire. And considering how certain, like, cast abilities like my charge shots can actually be charged. Like I've explained that before, that creates an even more interesting thing. The dodging system is, of course, in this game so different. You roll, but the dash isn't a dodge. It's not like when you roll, you're just basically going to avoid the attack. It's meant to then get quickly out of the way if somebody's planning to shoot something in your direction or just attack you. So as you can see, this isn't going quite well for me, because I've already died less in a battleground in this game than I have in battlegrounds in World of Warcraft. And to me, that's kind of an impressive feat, because like I've said before, I really suck at that. I am not good at WoW PvP. It's way less skill-based required. It's basically click on the target and then start bringing in the DPS. That's what it comes down to. It's not interesting, it's not fun, it creates a very annoying thing. So as you can see here, I'm getting completely chopped a bit by this stalker. I can't get away. I just used up my dashes, just got one back, but I'm pretty much toast. So I just go into the thick of it. I'm not going to give him the pleasure of getting the kill on his own. So there we go. I'm dead again. I only die like 3 times, I think, which is actually, like I said, quite an achievement for me, because I rarely ever live that long, and or better said, I died not that few times in any form of battleground. Usually I die like 15 times in a simple Warsong Gulch match, and that's actually if I'm lucky. So in this game, like I said, it may also be the case that I'm a melee tank style, but that's outside of the point. But the fact of the matter is, this, like I said, creates a way better, more intense, and much more fun way of playing PvP. It's more interesting, it's more intense, and with the sprint bot, it even opens up even more options. The game is overall much more fast-paced. It makes it way more fun. Ability mechanics are different. CC is still a point, but as they shown with breakout combat, breakout gameplay, it creates an even more interesting matter, because it means that you're not going to be sitting those 6 seconds waiting until that stun removes, unless you've got like a stun removal effect, CC removal, because they decided not to put in a CC removal ability. It is, that point actually comes down to a bit of that idea of a form of quick time event, but in a way that it's not going to get frustrating. So, like I said, the game mode is pretty simple to get behind. It's not overly complicated, but it creates for a very, very, very interesting thing, because it still holds it very simple. But with the whole combat system, it changes things. So as you can see, this is basically chaotic bliss, but it is such fun to see. This can turn into simple duels, but also into big skill. And perhaps your gaming computer is going to get a bit of a workout because of all these colorful telegraphs on the ground. But to be honest, I don't have a problem with that. And another thing is just the right possibility use of abilities can create great matters of interesting scenarios you can get yourself into. Like I said, it's the combat that sells the PvP to me. And I'm probably planning to do a little bit more. Not most of it, of course. I'm still much more of a PvEer, although it could be possible I might do it. I'm not a big fan, though, of open world PvP because of its knacking of getting ganked constantly. I always get ganked, especially when I'm in the middle of some sort of quest. So what happens here is, of course, that gold mask is basically what we need to collect. Probably, if you're watching any of this, you probably already know these things. But that's basically what it comes down to. So you get, of course, there's a complete separate currency also involving with PvP, which basically comes down to that you can actually completely level up with it and get the gear you want for that instead of being stuck with PvE gear in a PvP environment. So we capture one Moody Mask. We do lose this, but I still had a blast doing this. Like I said, it creates a much more fun experience in combat with that whole telegraph system and the free-form combat. So as you can see, this is basically when we get a bit to the end. It's because the enemy is way ahead. But as you can see, again, look at that. That combat system is way better. You just go in. You can go in any way you want. I just go guns all blazing, and it works rather well after. Using a proper use of my certain skills, such as that dash, not that dash, but that small blink ability, definitely opens up because it's connected to a stun. So if a whole bunch of guys are lined up, you can stun them, and although the stun may not last long, in the right circumstance, that can still get you your advantage. That can give your team the advantage, faction or whatever, and that completely can turn around a fight. And like I said, if you're not looking in the right direction, you're about to get killed. Now what we're going to see here is a nice little bit of kiting. So I just got the attention of those two. I decide to first go down. I think, oh crap, I run into this guy. He's not aware of me, so I kill him. I'm still being chased by those two, so I turn around, shoot a snare, and run like hell. And that actually worked. I lived, and they didn't get me. They're still trying to chase me, but I can do still a little bit of damage. I need to be careful though, because I'm an easy target to pick off right now. But besides that, it was great to do this. I had a really good time in this PvP, which I usually don't have with MMO PvP. I hate MMO PvP. Like I said, this sort of style is exactly what makes it fun. It is skill-based, rather than gear, or just simply pressing your rotation. It's not face rolling your keyboard and done. Bam, there goes half your HP. As long as you don't target properly, you're not going to get it ranking. You're not going to get the damages in you want. So that's basically the standard system of Wildstar PvP. I hope you enjoyed it, and I might make more of this. Bye-bye.